Oh yeah, you can see my picture is getting darker and darker as it gets dark outside. I've got a window that's my lighting in the daytime for Zoom sessions, but when it gets dark, gets kind of gloomy in here. But pay that no mind, I'm fine. I couldn't find. You could tell I was struggling. I was looking for the cotton economy and slavery, and there's lots on those. And this is how I found it from the library catalog. You go into the advanced search. So, like from the library catalog, I'll show you. It's just hidden off to the side here. So here's the library catalog, and it's advanced catalog search, and that looks like this. And what I did is I took the words that you gave, which is cotton and economy, and those two really fly well together because it's a product, it's a commodity, as it were, in economics, and so that one's easy to look at. And slave or slaves or slavery, that one's pretty easy. And when you go in, there's 39,000 results, so I think there's a lot. But you can just go through the titles, and here's a big one: Cotton and Race in the Making of America, Political Economy of Slavery. There's all sorts of different things. So, History of United States Slavery. When you go into these, go to the table of contents and look for chapters that are relevant to what you're interested in. But on the other side of things, if we're looking at soil, you can. There's all these sorting options too. Normally, I would encourage people to narrow down by date, but since this has been written about a lot, I think some really significant and good scholarship is going to be happening like 50 years ago. So I think you're okay not narrowing it down so much, but beware that some of the stuff in here is rather old. Um, and you can go into peer-reviewed journals specifically, or you can go into, here it says resource. You could go into books specifically and reports, and you can even now look at book chapters, which is pretty cool. So I'd recommend going into those. But how do we narrow it down to the soil? This is where I ran stuck. So if I tried to add, I'll add a line. I'll do soil, not soil ecology. Oh, here's all the other stuff that I had: soil ecology, or soil science, or agronomy, or tillage. Not sure agronomy is the best one. I did a search in a database for related terms to soil ecology, and see, these are some that I came up with. When you add that line, it goes all to chaos, and there's not as much great stuff. But I did find one good one that I want to show you. But it's all over the place. And I kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, but I'm not sure I could find what we're looking for. It's just weird and kind of all over the place. I mean, here's like Roundup. Um, so what I found was this one, and this might give you some more ideas to look at. And the main thing about this one that's so cool is it talks about science, soil, and society in the American countryside, but it's 19th century. And again, you can go and see the table of contents. And here's the chapter that looked pretty good: Agricultural Society, the Planter, and the Slave. This might be some of the things that you were looking for. But when you go into the databases, I'll send this one to you, and I'll send the previous search to you as well. But at least you could see how it was constructed. But if you go into a database and throw in all of that stuff, and again, I'm going to go to JSTOR because it's got a lot of the good historic stuff. I don't know if it's going to be too muddy. I made a pun. Is soil ecology, is that topic too muddy? Feel free to steal my material. They have an advanced search too. So maybe we could just route over our search that we did on this side. Cotton and economy, slaves and slavery, and soil. But I'm not optimistic. Cotton and economy. Slaves and slavery. Add a search box. And then we'll do, I didn't think of doing soil. Soil or soil code, blah, 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 blah. So the specificity, you think it would work really well here. Let's see what happens. You can tell by the sound of my voice, not optimistic. So I guess the lesson is, as you go through, if you find something that's like, oh, that's exactly what I want, look at their keywords, because I think in this one, it seems to be missing the point. And maybe I'm missing the point too. But it's dreadful. Something you can do, since we're getting 11,000 results, let's narrow this down. And of course, it's not going to do it for me. Let me show you what I mean. I wish I could pause the video. If I was an editor, I could do that. I'll go fast. Soil or what we can do to narrow our search results in this one is we can say, I want to find stuff that has this in the item title or the abstract. Maybe if we switch to abstract for all of these. So in the abstract, that's like the truncated version of the article that says only this stuff is in there. So we went from 11,000 results, and you could even narrow down to just stuff that's in the title. This might be the way to go. 1 results. And it's in French. Okay. So it seems like we need to talk a little more. What do you mean by the cotton economy? Or would it be okay to separate the soil science? Because the search with just cotton economy and slaves or slavery was great. But when we put soil into the mix, it got lost. So onward and forward.